talk about yesterday, day 4, September 2nd. Yesterday was definitely like the longest driving day. Got a little bit more boring. We kind of left the mountain range. We started at Leard Hot Springs, woke up in our freezing tent, and we made our way to Dawson Creek, which is still in British Columbia, but almost to Alberta. So we drove mostly southeast yesterday, and left some of our beautiful mountains behind on the drive yesterday. Dawson Creek is mile 0 of the Alaskan highway, so we're no longer on the Alaskan highway. Kind of sad, but I just saw a sign that 173 kilometers before any goods or services on this road, so feeling back to normal again. We were in a town last night, but okay, now we're gonna go out in the boondocks again a little bit. We are going to Jasper today, so we'll be back in some mountains. Turns out they had snow a few days ago. I don't know, that's what the lady at the gas station just told us back in that town. So that could be fun. It's cold again, 50 degrees. It was just like 42 degrees. So, we're going up and down, traveling through. But, yesterday I got the old Ben Rector going again. I didn't forget about him, but it's been a while since I listened to him and love his music. Listen to some Stephen Kellogg and the Sixers. Also, been a few years since I listened to him, and you can only listen to country music so long. Like, what is it with male country singers singing about my poor woman, she's gone to the city, and she found herself a new man and he's making her sit. They talk about these women as if they're oppressed. Like, she probably went to the city to get an education, expand her worldview a little bit, find some perspective in life. Maybe come back to your town and not vote for Trump the second time around, because her brains grew a little bigger now. But I don't know. And what's the thing about country men are always sad when women stop drinking whiskey too? Like, that's a thing. Like, oh, she's changed so much, she doesn't drink whiskey anymore. Like, okay, in the city we call that alcoholism, but sure. Anyway, I'm just playing. But no, those songs really do bother me. Like, okay, she went to the city, she found herself a man, she ain't missing you, okay? If she goes back to that small town, she's gonna come back educated, smarter, way smarter than you. Maybe she'll teach you something about the real world, but anyway. So yesterday, Alberta's got me thinking this way. Something about the country makes me think about my dork days in Iowa and all the thing that bothered me, all that conservative, traditional. Anyway, we're going back to the mountains tonight, so I'll be fine. I'll get over it. I'll feel on top of the world again. Anyway, I love all my country friends. But most of my country friends I know, they're not like women pounding whiskey every night. They're like going to church and raising babies and doing good things with their lives. So anyway, we left Leard yesterday and driving through beautiful roads. We were still in mountainous areas and saw about 7 or 8 caribou along the way. My cute little reindeer making their great hibernation, great walk to the North Pole. I'm sure Tim Allen's going to be needing them up in the North Pole any day now. So beautiful drive in the morning. We were going along and came up along this river that had this gorgeous blue-green color to it, and the yellow trees are all still around us. Not as often. We're going a little further south, so I think it's not as much fall here anymore. But kind of drove out of the mountains, in and out, up and down, and we're driving along, and I got this trailer, and this tow haul thing is fantastic. I was nervous about going up and down mountains, but man, I cruise down mountains pretty safe in this thing with the brake system and tow haul, and no worries. I love it. one thing. Okay, so rules, right? Let's talk about road rules. In life, I tend to think of rules as more like guidelines. Guidelines, you have an option, and the option I usually choose is no. So, you know those optional road signs that are yellow, and they usually say, like, around this corner, you know, you should slow down, you should go 45 miles an hour, you should go 35 miles an hour, like, you know, optional. Ignore those. Never pay attention to those. Well, let me tell you, I now know the purpose for those signs, because in this vehicle with my trailer, I am looking for those signs, I am reading them, and if that sign says go 35 miles an hour around the corner, you better believe I'm going 34 miles around that corner, because I ain't messing around. I ain't trying to tip like that. So I've been thinking about that a lot. But otherwise, rules in general, waste of my life, basically. Unless they're trying to actually do good, which most rules aren't. That's applicable to social work too. We're all trying to save the world, but social work is not black and white, and we try to make it black and white, and just a messy world we live in. And anyway, I don't got much to say about yesterday. I was just sitting around thinking. After we left the mountains, we drove down one big spectacular hill. The four of us got out, enjoyed the beautiful mountain view in the background, and then we kind of came down into the country a little bit. Still trees around, still really, really pretty drive, but just kind of more rolling hills. And the funniest part about yesterday is just the people at the gas stations we would stop at. There still wasn't much. We'd go miles and miles before seeing anything, and so we stop at this one gas station and we ask him if we can buy batteries, and he's like, you can, but you don't want to, because here we sell batteries for $4 for one little battery. And he was like, you should just wait until you get into town. And I was like, well, where's town? He was like, acted like I was silly for not knowing. And then he was like, town's 2.5 hours away. I'm like, okay, man. Well, I appreciate you. And then I turned the corner of the bathroom. He has a big sign that says, you are in the middle of effing nowhere. It's like, yep, okay, awesome. So as I'm leaving, he goes, oh, by the way, did you meet my goat? We're at a gas station in the middle of effing nowhere. And I was like, I did not meet your goat. Thinking he was joking. He's like, oh, well, you got to go around the corner. Behind the green tarp, you will see Bob, the goat. I'm like, okay. Meanwhile, Nick is looking at some axes for sale, knives and stuff. And so I asked him, I said, you going to buy an axe, Nick? Because we've been seeing, all these logs splitting wood, and I think Nick keeps talking about how we just need to sit around and chop some wood. I'm like, you can go to my parents' house if you want to do that shit in the middle of the suburbs in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I ain't chopping no wood up here in Canada. Well, as I asked Nick if he's gonna buy an axe, this man behind Nick says, oh, you don't want to buy an axe here, way too expensive. If you need an axe, I got one in my car, you can have it. And I just kind of am like, what? Where are we? Sure enough, Nick follows this man out to his white minivan and opens this compartment under the seats, and he's got a whole bunch of tools in there, and he gives Nick an axe. He's like, here, you can have it. Nick takes the axe. I'm like, for what purpose? And he's like, you never know when you're going to need an axe. And for some reason, this is totally normal to Amy and Natalie, and we're all laughing, but I'm like, no, seriously, what are we doing with this axe? Whatever. So we take this guy's axe. Okay, this guy literally we are in the middle of nowhere, so okay, cool. We go say hi to Bob the goat, who sure enough, he hears people coming. He comes right out to us like a dog, wagging his tail, ready to be pet. So we pet Bob the goat. It's freezing, so we can't pet him for long, We're all laughing, get back in our cars, drive a little longer. decide we need to stop for lunch. It's about 3 o'clock. We should probably eat some food. So we just pull over on the side of the road, buy some woods. It's just a turnout. Again, we're peeing outside. There's no places to pee. And so eat our lunch, we just had our leftovers from dinner the other night, made little tortillas with them, and hung around, played with the Frisbee a bit, had some good laughs, moved around. And that was really it for yesterday. We got in to Dawson Creek, back to reality. Dawson Creek seemed like a big town. It had like fast food and hotels, and it's the biggest town we've seen. So we stayed at the Holiday Inn last night. Some luxury right there. And these three were so excited. I mean, I've been with my schedule able to go home every other week, and I don't think these three have watched TV all summer, because they're like, oh my gosh, let's order pizza, let's watch TV, let's like get on the internet. And I'm like, I just wanted to play cards again because that was fun. But we ordered pizza, and we didn't watch much TV because really there was nothing on, but just kind of hung out, enjoyed. Oh, we showered. So yesterday, day 4, 5th day without a shower for all of us. We all finally got to shower, so that was cool. Yeah, we now have shampooed hair again, and we'll probably be good for a couple more days. So all good there on that front. And today we're only going about 5.5 hours. We're going to Jasper, so that's good. We just started getting into more hilly territory again, which is nice. I'm not having my Iowa flashbacks anymore. And we'll spend 2 days in Jasper, meaning tomorrow is not going to be a drive day. We just get to explore the national park and